Hi everybody, how you doing? I am not Snow White, just I know I'm thinking perhaps I was, but you are a handsome group. Thank you for coming tonight, this afternoon. You're in for such a treat. This version all cleaned up of Snow White is so pristine and lovely and wonderful. And before we started, I just wanted to kind of set the stage and give you a quick little kind of history of where Snow White comes from. So when you watch the movie, hopefully it'll make you and help you appreciate it that much more. Because it's an amazing movie. It all started out in the 30s actually, but the movie itself came out 80 years ago, as you heard, in 1937. Well, this is what else was happening in 1937. The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco opened up. The Lincoln statue on Mount Rushmore was dedicated. The Hindenburg crashed. This is a big year, a lot of stuff going on. The president at that time was this gentleman in the wheelchair, Franklin Roosevelt, and his dog. And Amelia Earhart went on a long flight and never came back in 1937. It was a big year. And the biggest actor of that year was this guy. Any guesses who that might be? Okay, well, the biggest actress was this girl. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the biggest actress in Hollywood was Shirley Temple? I can't imagine, she was huge. And the biggest movie of the year was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, how big was it? This movie was not twice as big as the second place movie that year. It was 4 times bigger at the box office than the second place movie. In fact, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, when it came out, which will be 80 years ago tomorrow, when it came out nationally around the country. When it came out, it became the #1 movie of all time. Of all time. It'd be like talking about Avatar or Titanic or Star Wars or something like that. In its day, Snow White was the #1 movie, and it wasn't dethroned from that position until Gone with the Wind came out 4 years later. So can you imagine what a hit that was? Huge, huge hit. Well, this is Gelsons on Hyperion. It has nothing to do with Snow White, but I just thought I'd bring it along. That's not true. This is the site, if you drive by this Gelsons or if you shop there, this is where the original Walt Disney studio was. In fact, there's a monument sign in the parking lot of Gelsons that talks about it being Walt Disney's original studio. So Snow White was made in the parking lot of Gelsons. And you can win a lot of trivia contests with that. It looked like this. Sweet little building. Walts Office was in the corner, a little sound stage. So this is what it looked like, and it was torn down after Snow White, and all the money from Snow White went into building a new studio. So this was torn down, and it eventually became Gelsons. This is what the studio staff looked like when they were working on Snow White. You can see they were doing Mickey Mouse cartoons, and Walt was hugely famous for Mickey Mouse. He was such a celebrity because Mickey Mouse was a huge character, especially during the Depression. Yes, Mickey Mouse. I love it when kids shout out Mickey Mouse. And these are the handsome animators that worked on Mickey Mouse at the Hyperion studio. At the same time, they were doing cartoons that look like this. This is actually an Oswald the Rabbit cartoon. Yes, we love Oswald the Rabbit. In fact, there's a great new book about Oswald from Dave Bossert. It's at the bookstore out here when you leave, you can see it. 10 years after they were making cartoons that looked like that, suddenly they were making cartoons that look like that. And you go, how did they get there? I mean, that was only 10 years, not a lot of time for a studio to develop their artistry. But look at the difference between the two.